data transformations, I think, are the thing that every single data job does.
Hmm.
I don't care if you're like handling infrastructure, chances are you still have to clean some stuff here and there. Maybe what are some things that the average person or a beginner tends to get wrong quite often when it comes to data transformations?
One thing that it's going to be very simple, but when you name what you're doing, let's say you have a CTE, often we come up with these obscure names. Uh, and sometimes I review code and I'm like, what does it mean? And then if you read the code, you understand, oh, it's doing this. And then just name it for what it is. Just say what it is. So again, make it as simple as possible. Uh, it's interesting, and I wonder what the mind does to us um, when we're writing code, because it seems like it should be intuitive, right? It seems like if you're doing this, then just name it exactly for what it is. Same for if you're creating a table, if you're creating a model in DBT, name it exactly for what it is. And yet somehow we find ways to
Yes.
overcomplicate it. And I've noticed that when we're beginners, we tend to do that. And I don't know if it's because we're trying to make it look a bit more important than what it actually is. Um, but that's one of the things that I've noticed.
I think sometimes what I see beginners write a function called like transforming data. And then inside of that function is every single thing that you're going to apply there.
Yeah.
But as somebody that has been working with data for quite a while, I sometimes fall into the opposite, which is I build a function, let's say something like remove the employees from the clients, right? That's the
Hmm.
name of the function. That's exactly what it does. And then when I start writing it, I realize like, ooh, this is not generic enough. Of this one could be more reusable. So you end up with something super abstract, like filtering people from people type of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, I see what you mean, and that might be the reason why I sometimes see this. And of course, right now I'm expressing an opinion or a criticism on something that, I mean, it's a lot easier to review someone's code than to write it in the first place. Of course,
Yes.
it's hard to review code, but I mean that it's easier to criticize in a sense, and feedback should not be meant to criticize. But yeah, I agree that as you do it, and I have this as well. I'm sometimes unsure about what I'm gonna name something because I end up adding to it, and then it's not what it was in the first place.
Yeah.
So maybe you think of it at the end, and at the end you just relook at it, and you're like, oh, actually, I should refactor my code. And I personally do that a lot.
Yeah.
After I've written something, I just refactor, and maybe I refactor a couple of times before I'm happy with it.